We talked about Danny Dubois, his win over Anthony Joshua. You were one of the only people out there that picked Danny Dubois. Again, it certainly sounds like we are headed for a rematch between Dubois and AJ. Turki Al-Sheikh wants the rematch for next year. Frank Warren, Danny Dubois, they want the rematch. Eddie Hearn, AJ, they say they're into the rematch. They want a little more time to recover from the knockout loss, but they're willing to do it as AJ's next fight. That was, Sergio, except for about 10 seconds, as one-sided a beating as you can possibly get. Is it wise for Anthony Joshua to go straight into a rematch with Dubois?
No, it's not wise, but I would think that that's the only thing Anthony Joshua has in front of him right now. I mean, Anthony Joshua's already been here before. He's gotten knocked out, and then he went back and faced Andy Ruiz to get his title back. That's the only way back into the limelight, the mass appeal, the big fights, is to go and knock out the guy that knocked you out. That's just boxing right there. It's in any sport. You know, you got to get back what's yours. And at this point of his career, Anthony Joshua just can't just sweep it under the rug and say, all right, you got me, son. I'm going to go fight someone else now. I'm going to go fight Tyson Fury. No, you don't do that. You do not do that. And the thing about Joshua is he went for the kill with Dubois. He saw that he rocked Dubois a little bit, and he went recklessly after him. You don't do that. It just goes to show you that Anthony Joshua, it was a power puncher. Even when he won an Olympic gold medal, it was his size. It was his power that did it. It wasn't his technique. It wasn't his skill. And it sure as hell wasn't his defense. So at this point of his career, in his mid-30s now, or both of them around their mid-30s.
No, they're not. AJ's 34. Dubois 27. Like, there's a difference.
I'm talking about
age.
Joshua.
Right. AJ's 34.
Okay, so they're in the 30s.
Right. He is.
Yeah. You don't change who you are at this point. You're a power puncher. You live by the punch. You die by the punch. And he just got knocked the hell out face first by it. So, look, he has an excellent mind and an excellent trainer in his corner in Bed Davison. Huge fan of his. I think they get the immediate rematch as fast as possible, and they go back in there. And I think if he goes in there with a game plan and sticks to it and forgets about the power, he can beat a Dubois. Dubois is a big stationary target. He's like a Frankenstein type fighter, and we know that he's not quit, but he's looked for a way out in fights.
Yeah, but hasn't that ship sailed? Like,
it has, but you can remind him of it. You can remind him of it.
He quit against Alexander Usyk. I think that's fair to say. But then he went out and rallied against Jarrell Miller, went up against Filip Perkovic, and beat down AJ. I feel like it's a different fighter now.
This is back with what we touched on, momentum, and you learn off that. You learn how to become brave. Believe it or not, Dubois is one of these guys that's still learning on the job, man. He still hasn't even won a world championship. You still can't even call him the heavyweight champion of the world, but he just knocked out a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Right there, that's a big feather on your cap. So he's building his confidence, and he's still building his offense and his aura, and his character. He's still building his character. This is Dubois, 26 years old?
27.
27 years old, man. He's a young, moldable heavyweight champion. So sky's the limits for him, but you just got to maneuver him in the right ways. And right now he's at a hell of a 2024.
Well, the question is about AJ, though. And I agree with you that AJ should probably go right into the rematch. I don't think there is enough time, or it's even realistic, to expect him to go through a rebuild like he did after the two losses to Usyk. He's just too old, and the opportunities that are potentially there, specifically against Tyson Fury, you don't have time to go through a 1.5-year rebuild. That being said, there's nothing I saw in that fight that makes me believe that a rematch will be any different. Like, Dubois, from the moment he started to make that ring walk, looked incredibly confident. Like, he looked like a different guy than the one we saw against Joyce, the one we saw against Usyk. That guy is coming into his own in the heavyweight division. He has a power jab that he can use. He has a devastating right hand. And more importantly for that fight, I don't think AJ has a chin anymore. Like, I don't think he trusts his chin at all. Like, the guy, there was a lot of talk in the build-up to that fight about how this version of Anthony Joshua is a more complete fighter than the one that beat Vladimir Klitschko. That may be true, but you just talked about Coyones there. Like,
What'd you say? Coyote?
Yeah, cojones.
Cojones, cabrón. Cojones.
All right,
Testicles, balls, guts, testosterone.
Can we? All right.
Cojones.
Try to keep it relatively PG-13.
There you go.
That version of AJ had some stones to him. Like that version of AJ got off the mat and went straight after Vladimir Klitschko and knocked him out. I don't think this version of him can do that. I think this version of him is a guy that operates behind the jab, tries to be a little more disciplined. And look, when he did decide to throw caution to the wind in that 5th round, landed one clean right hand and then got countered straight to hell with that right hand from Danny Dubois. I don't know why you'd believe that anything would be different. Danny Dubois is still going to land right hands in the rematch. He's still going to have that jab that's going to be a big weapon for him. I don't see a way for AJ to improve enough. And look, Dubois, in the last 2 fights, has shown he can take right hands. Like, Hrgovic landed some good right hands against him. AJ landed at least one clean right hand against him. Like, Dubois is the real deal at heavyweight. So I'm with you. I say go right into it, roll the dice. Maybe one big right hand lands. You could change the course of the fight and you can get back on track for a Tyson Fury matchup. But there's nothing I saw that makes me believe that fight will go any different.
Yeah, if Anthony Joshua was less intelligent, then I think he could come back and erase what happened. I mean, short-term memory serves athletes well. You know, they forget about the last game, the last fight, and they just
he's a thinking man's fighter.
But that's exactly what I was getting to. He's too smart for his own good. And a lot of thinking fighters, they start thinking too much, man. Boxing's a reactive sport. It's something that's repetitively ingrained in you for years and years and years, rounds and rounds and rounds. You hear that
did
bell?
You see him, Sergio, in the corner between rounds? No, but it's like this is the thinking part stuff. Did you see him in the corner between rounds? Like after he's getting beat up, he's saying like. He ain't shit, talking about Dubois.
Yeah, he's trying to convince himself.
I know, yeah.
It's that fake tough guy. It's fake bravado, Mannix. It's that fake bravado that you could find anywhere, you know. And real bravado is quiet, man. Real bravado, you see it in their eyes, or in their sneer, or in the way that their body language is. It's not in talking, you know. It's not in trying to convince yourself. It's not believable, man. It's not believable when Joshua tries to be a tough guy. When he does it in press conferences, I don't believe him. He's too damn handsome and big and smart. Guys like that, you don't believe him, man. You believe guys like me. Fucking scars on the face. My fucking nose looks like mashed potato, but I'll whoop your ass, you know. Pretty boys like that, nah, man. It doesn't work that way. So Joshua should stick to what he is, and he's a cerebral fighter. He's a power-punching, careful fighter that's already gotten shaken up, past tense. And now you got to evolve into something that you haven't been, and that's a boxer. He's not the power puncher, destructive guy that throws caution to the wind. Now he's that careful, trying to make as much money as I possibly can and not get knocked out and cross the finish line a rich man. That's where Joshua's at now.
So Tyson Fury was on TV last weekend, and he said it would be a travesty if the fight between him and AJ didn't happen. Now, Fury's got business of his own coming up December 21st in that rematch against Usyk. But would you agree, Sergio? Would it be a travesty if we never see AJ against Fury?
It's been a travesty. It's been a fucking Greek travesty since Fury was supposed to fight Joshua, and then Deontay Wilder belt blocked. Remember that word I used, belt block? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he did, man. He got in the way of Undisputed, and guess what? We didn't get to see Undisputed between them guys. We got to see Undisputed with the real heavyweight king, and that's Alexander Usyk. He's the top dog now. He's the one that demands all the attention, all the greatness that we wanted out of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. We got it from this Ukrainian great. But since you brought up Fury and Joshua, yes, I still want to see it.
Oh no.
Yes, I still want to see it, but it lost its pizzazz.
Luster, yeah.
It lost his that little garnish that you put on top of a beautiful meal.
What are you doing with your hands right there?
Well,
is that
your
garnish movement?
When you order like one of those fancy drinks, they always put something nice. You don't need it.
The cherry on top.
No, that's a sundae. But that's what it lost.
Okay.
That's what that fight lost.
It lost way more than that. To me, if they make it now, it's just a lame cash grab. Now, look, if AJ turns
what's wrong with that?
Because I don't want.
And what's wrong with the cash grab?
Because it's all of a sudden they're in like the loser bracket of the heavyweight division. Because Dubois and Usyk.
How many fucking losers could fill out 90,000 seat arenas?
You think it would still do that? Like
yes. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua could still do that.
play this out. Hold on, play this out for me. Like if Fury gets beat by Usyk in the rematch, and I think Usyk's a big favorite in that fight, and Dubois gets knocked out again in their fight, like is there really a market for Fury coming off back-to-back loss to Usyk and AJ coming off back-to-back loss to Dubois? Is there really a market for that fight? Would 90,000 people really come up and support that?
89,000.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, look, for a person that loves big events, you're rooting for Fury to beat Usyk to become the unified champion. If you love a big event, you're rooting for AJ to bounce back and beat Dubois in a rematch, because then you can make that fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship. Two of the most popular fighters in boxing, two of the biggest draws in British boxing history. You could put that fight together at Wembley Stadium. It would be awesome. But if they lose, or even if one of them loses, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, Manny Pacquiao had to bounce back from his losses before we started really talking about a Mayweather fight. I need to see AJ and Fury bounce back from their losses if I want to see that fight happen. All right.